project and he's going to try to con people, get him out of here. We don't need that.
Put him in the batch room. Hey man, I'm going live on YouTube. I saw your text message about whatnot. So anything, you know.
Well, most people aren't even going to understand
you don't need
NFTs.
Yeah, you don't need to drop that stuff. But actually, the thing about NFTs and conning people, I think, is appropriate. Like I'm in these Discord rooms, and I'm in these, you know, everything is part of a Discord room now. So if you're not on Discord, just go get on it, because every single NFT, that's where they house their communities from what I know.
Dude, everything I learned on how to make, I learned how to make that cryptocurrency Ethereum mine on Discord. I learned how to do everything that I know from crypto on Discord. I learned everything I know how to do with any NFTs on Discord. My kids sit on Discord all day long. Well, what happened?
So like,
drop off for a second?
No, you're good. That's the place where all the shit goes down. But to that point, there are tons of people trying to sell you and trying to scam you. And the thing is, the NFTs are moving so quickly, like not NFTs in general, but the entire like space life is moving so quickly right now.
No doubt.
It's easy to be like, oh, I need a whitelist. I want to get on a whitelist. I want to get this before it mints. I want to get this. I want to get on this one because it might pop. And there's this thing that it's like, you know, it's kind of like back in the day, it's like the gold rush. It's like the land rush. Like people are just grabbing onto shit because it is. And they're grabbing onto shit because they think it might be valuable. They're dropping shit they find. And you might get caught up with your wallet in your pants. I mean, I did that just last week. I think, I don't know if we talked about it yet, but I made a bad wallet transfer and it was about a $4,000 mistake. And I don't know if I'll ever get it back, but there's a chance. So I'm holding. You know, I think we'll figure it out. But this, you know, just to lead off with that point, like be effing careful.
My rule is this.
Here's your point.
My rule is this. Don't ever respond to a DM unless it's like, you know, me and Joel will talk to each other in DMs, but you got to make sure that it's Joel, or you got to make sure he has to make sure that it's me, because people will pose like they're us. Don't ever respond to DMs. That's just what you should be doing.
That's
if you don't close your DMs, you should just turn them off. If you don't, every time you get a DM, block that person and delete them. Block, delete, block, delete, block, delete. That's all I do all day on DMs, because I want to keep them open so I can talk to, you know, people I know. But the minute you hit a link in a DM, boom, your entire MetaMask wallet is emptied. All your money, all your NFTs, everything's gone in 1 second. So don't ever do that. I've heard so many people say it. I've seen it happen to so many people. Crushed them. I've seen Bored Ape members have had their NFTs stolen because somebody's like, oh, you can get on this whitelist. You can get this NFT for free. You can mint here now before everybody else. And people, like you said, because it's a gold rush, are like, oh my God, I can get into this huge project quick. Blink. They hit the link. Wallet's emptied.
Yep.
Hundreds of thousands.
And the same for Twitter. You know, the same for Twitter. Like I just got back on Twitter.
So did I, just for NFTs.
And and it's like everybody's like this, retweet this, and I'm giving away a Bored Ape. I'm giving away stuff, and some people were really doing that. Now it's just like a marketing tactic, but like because what? I just gotta go. Yeah, you're fine, because I think if you just follow Gary Vee, if you're looking at the NFTs and you're in this crypto, I would say just stay with Gary Vee, because he gives all the shit away for free. Like he talks, his information is all good, and he'll say like, you know, hey, I'm giving shit away today and I'm doing it in my Discord channel. So you got to go be in my Discord. So like, that's the way to do it, is like, go get in the Discord and then go from there. The other rule that you shared with me, I think is really important is see if they're connected to the same server you're connected to.
Yes.
But really from that, I think it goes back to the golden rule. Just don't even go to the DM, because you can talk to that person right in the general chat. You know, you can talk to them right in front of everybody if you want to, but like doing it on a DM thing, I would just never do. You know what I mean? But if you're in like a group chat and people are watching, people will tell you, hey, don't talk to that person, or I saw that guy, or they reached out to me on this. So anyway,
listen, if you run into that situation and you don't know what to do and you're in Discord, email me or Joel. My email address that you can email me at is orionthehunter22@gmail.com. orionthehunter22, the number, @gmail.com, just like the
I love
cancellation.
that.
Email me and I will
Yeah.
email you back and I'll give you some advice on this shit, because I don't want
Yeah.
anybody losing all their money in NFTs because of us telling them to go on Discord without these rules. There is rules, baby. And these rules apply, like Joel said, to even just cryptocurrency too. If you're going to transfer cryptocurrency around, you're going to buy cryptocurrency, you're going to use cryptocurrency, all of that stuff. There are rules to this game, because what you don't understand is your whole entire life you've been living with mommy and daddy central bank taking care of your money for you, and it's been insured. And if you have a bad transaction or somebody, you buy something online and they don't give it to you, you call mommy and daddy credit card company. You go, mommy, daddy, somebody ripped me off. I want my money back. And mommy and daddy credit card company and central banks will help you out. Well, here's what's up. Mommy and daddy are also taking a fuck ton of your money to do that. So if you want to play like the adults play and use your money for what you want to do, and you want to have control of your money, and if you want to be responsible and accountable for your own money, then play in the crypto game. But know right now, you are the bank. Your shit's not insured. You fuck up, it's gone. And you have to follow the rules. Don't keep shit on exchanges. Only keep shit in wallets. Never give anybody your seed phrases. Never give anybody your private keys. Never give anybody fucking anything. Keep that shit in cold storage. Put that cold storage device like a Ledger Nano X inside of your waterproof and fireproof safe, because if you lose that shit, your private keys are gone forever, and so is all your fucking crypto. Watch Silicon Valley on, I think it was on HBO. There's an episode in there where one of the major venture capitalists, I can't remember his name, but he's a fucking crazy, awesome character. He loses his jump drive, his Ledger Nano X, and he had it in his jeans, and he threw away his jeans. He hired like 150 dudes to go into the junkyard and look for his jeans to try to find the freaking jump drive that were in his jeans. And they're sitting there digging through the garbage forever, dude. It is one of the funniest scenes of all time in Silicon Valley, the show.
I'm sure. I mean, yeah, I would imagine. I was thinking about passwords the other day, and how nervous people can be around that. Even when they give you the option to copy it to the clipboard and store it to the cloud, you're still like, should I do that? Then people write them on a piece of paper like myself. Then maybe they take a picture of it. Now it's on your phone, which probably is a bad idea.
Yeah, it's a bad idea.
So like, there's just things where we're trying to protect ourselves. I want to shift. Did you guys get to do? Let's talk Thanksgiving news, right? So what we saw on Thanksgiving and on YouTube, you'd think everybody and their mother is ready for Bitcoin to go, parabolic. Everybody likes to say, right?
Yep.
And then we talked a little bit about this Thanksgiving boogie, that people go home on Thanksgiving, they share with their family, and then all of a sudden people start buying and jumping in, and that's like a thing too. Did you guys talk a lot about this at the Thanksgiving Day table? Like, was this a topic? Obviously you are, eyeballs, eyelashes, and eyebrows deep in this, man. But like, how would you find yourself explaining a lot of things, even though you've probably talked to your family? They already know. But what's up?
Yeah, my main family members are sick of me talking about it pretty much. And a lot of them don't fully understand it. So they think I'm talking about JPEGs and pictures, which couldn't be further from the truth. JPEGs. But when I try to explain that they're not just JPEGs, and I try to explain how they're not just JPEGs, that's where everybody loses me, because they haven't really dabbled in the space. And honestly, dude, I'm still, I would say, at like a 10-15% level out of 100% crypto knowledge. Like, I know like 10 or 15% of the game, and I know so much more than everybody else. It's insane, but that's just because I've been in it a long time and I'm passionate about it. That's all I do. I mean, and I still have so much to know. So they're just tired of hearing about it. But the funniest part is, like I was texting you, is so right now today we're talking about NFTs and everyone's just like, like, I don't get it, I don't understand it, I don't want to talk about it. In 6 months, 12 months, something around then, I guarantee you I get maybe 5 text messages a day asking me how to get into the NFT game.
How do I buy this? How do I buy that?
Yeah. And it'll be about 6 to 12 months too late. So that's usually what happens. So for example,
that's not fair to say. It won't be too late, because it's not going anywhere. I mean, if you're talking about trying to buy things on the jump and try to flip some stuff, you're a little late in that game, but that'll be going on forever, just like garage sailing still happens.
Well, it's a little different just because of this. Like, so for example, if you wanted to get a Bored Ape today, you're going to have to pay probably $250,000, right? You're too late unless you have ultra
valid
money.
Point.
If you would have bought that Bored Ape 6 months ago, you would have paid about $400 for it. You could have bought 20 of them. and 6 months later, it's too late. So that's what I'm saying. And then here's the problem with that.
Were
too.
they
So
chilling
people,
like that? Were they really only like a
$400.
point
Yeah.
something Ethereum or whatever?
Yeah, 0.12, 0.16. I see everybody talking about what they bought them for. You can go on OpenSea and see what they bought them
And
for.
they weren't even minted. They just bought them. That's insane,
No.
man.
They were minted. They were
Well, I mean, I
minted,
know
but-
they were minted,
yeah.
but then people got them at that. That's
At one-
amazing.
off the floor at like 0.16, 0.12,
Yeah.
0.08.
Yeah.
That's nothing.
I love
That's
point
nothing
zero.
money.
I love 0.08. I'm like, let's
0.0
buy it.
anything. Yeah,
I see a
0.0
cat
anything.
0.0. I'm on it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like that's the thing. And then here's the problem with that though. In 6 months, when somebody reaches out to me and they're like, "Hey, how do I get into the NFT game?" They're going to expect Bored Ape results. And then when they don't get those Bored Ape results, they're going to be like, "This is all bullshit." Whatever he was saying is not true. They're going to expect immediate returns, and it's not like that. Nothing's like that. You have to actually pick the project. You have to get a little lucky. You have to have good project leadership. You have to have momentum behind that project. You have to have volume behind that project. You have to have, you have to have some luck too with rarity. You have to have some utility. You have to have some tokenization, and then that all has to come together and then kick off. Then there's a lot of moving parts.
Here's the problem. Yeah, here's the problem I find, and a real quick short to it. If you're getting in to play that thing, it's going to take some time because you have to be in the Discords. People are doing giveaways all day long.
Grind.
And if you're running multiple projects that you believe in, you're going to have to be in these things constantly. Or you have to have the cash to buy in, because trying to get a whitelist, trying to mint is really tough to do, but you can do it. I've seen you win a couple, and you've probably won more that I don't even know about. But I've seen you win a couple in the ones that we've been paying attention to, which is awesome because it takes work. If you can put the work in and you can, get up a couple levels in there, then awesome. Otherwise, you just have to pay a little bit for it, which in this space is probably a grand or two. If you're lucky enough to buy one. Yeah, it depends on when you catch it. But I mean, still a grand or two for a big project is actually like a good price. Yeah. If it's a solid project. This mining one you're into now is really cool. There's going to be other projects coming. So it's like, just again, pay attention to stuff you love, I suppose. But I'd love to hear in the chat or even like send us an email. I know it's orderandchaospodcast@gmail, but just send it to us because I'd love to know if you bought it one, if you own anything, show us what it is. I'd love to see it.
Yes. I will also put my Twitter handle in here. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on OpenSea. Hit me up on one of the Discord rooms if you find me. If you don't know which projects to hit, I can leave some links in the show notes. One of my favorite things to look for projects is rarity.tools. That's like one of my favorite sites of all time. I can even share my screen really quick and show you what's up.
Yeah,
if I share my screen really fast, you can see my screen right now. Boom, boom, boom. This is Rarity Tools. All you got to do is come up here, go to upcoming NFT sales, and it will show you not all of them, but most of them. And then you can also search some other sites too that have NFT collections. This is one of the ones I just got whitelisted in right here, M101 Shelter. This one goes on sale for me tomorrow, and I get to get it cheaper than everybody else because I'm whitelisted. So it's 0.06. Hey, and then I don't have to fight the gas war either. So that's huge.
Nice.
So this one I just got whitelisted in, and I'm pumped about this one because this one has some tokenomics. This one has some utility. They're going to give you 20 tokens a day, which will literally it's basically like $20 a day. And then you can use that for a bunch of different things inside of that ecosystem. So you can use them to get other NFTs for free, minus gas. You could use it for some sort of utility like breeding, or they have a spaceship thing here too. So you can turn in the tokens to get, that would be getting another NFT, but they're giving out limited numbers of spaceships. There's going to be tons of other things that these guys do too. They have a thing where if you own one of these and you sell it, you get 1.5% of all existing sales forever. So whatever it sells for, you get 1.5% of that sale price. So if you're talking in the future that these get way up there like Bored Apes or something, you could be making thousands of dollars each time this thing changes hands. But the cool part is, on top of that 1.5%, you get another 1.5% every time one of the other NFTs changes hands. And all that money starts to flow in once the volume gets crazy, once the floor starts to raise. all of that money starts getting poured in. And if you're pulling down 3% for literally doing nothing, that's amazing. And it's not in United States currency. Like everyone wants to say like, oh, how much is Ethereum worth? Well, Ethereum is worth what one Ethereum. One Ethereum is worth one Ethereum. Like everyone wants to equate it back to money, but that's the wrong way to look at it. Because you don't ever want to come out of the ecosystem. You don't ever want to cash your Ethereum in for US dollars. That's not the game. Did I lose Joel? Did I just lose my buddy? I'll keep talking. That's not the game. You don't want to cash in your money for dollars, because then you're going to trigger a tax event. If you keep all your money inside of crypto and you just transfer it, and you're doing Ethereum transfers essentially, and it never actually triggers a taxable event, you're winning. And then on top of it, you don't have to worry about inflation. You don't have to worry about the devaluation of our currency. So you don't have to worry about people coming in and making the dollar worth like 60 cents on the dollar. Like I was telling Joel the other day, if you got $100 in 1960, that $100 is worth $17 today, dude. I mean, like that's ridiculous. Why would you trade Ethereum for United States currency? United States currency is about to completely fucking belly up. And so are a lot of other currencies in this world. And if you guys don't know this, 50% of all the money ever printed in the history of our country was printed in the last 12 to 18 months. So that's all you need to know about what's about to happen. Stock market dropped 1,000 points today. I've been predicting this for about a month now, and I knew it was going to happen in November. I actually been predicting it for a couple months, but I knew it was going to happen in November. I just didn't know when. I actually thought it was going to be a little earlier in November, but now it's kicking in. I knew that they would come back and scare the shit out of us again with another COVID round, another variant, more vaccines, more boosters, all that shit. And that's just smoke and mirrors because they're trying to distract you away from that Ghislaine Maxwell trial where every single politician is now getting outed for rape and sexual misconduct. So that's what they're doing. They're trying to distract you from that. This is all smoke and mirrors, right? So they crashed the stock market. They doubled down on COVID. They scare the shit out of everybody. They do the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. They do the other guy's trial. All of this is smoke and fucking mirrors. They don't want you to see what's really going on. And so this is what I'm talking about. You do not want to have all of your money, all of your wealth, and everything that you own tied to that. That's a disaster. That's a fucking dumpster fire. You need to get your money into cryptocurrency like right now. Yeah. We've been blessed for the last 2 weeks with cryptocurrency going down. It was at all-time highs and it comes back down 10, 15%. Everyone's shitting the bed like, oh my God, cryptocurrency's done. It's going to go to zero. Oh my God. These people don't know shit about cryptocurrency if they think it's going to zero, first of all. Second of all, if you think it's going to zero and you're panic selling right now, you obviously haven't been through any of the freaking rides in cryptocurrency. I bought Ethereum back when it was $283. Okay. It goes down 50% from here. I'm still fucking up 100x. I don't think everybody realizes this is nothing. This is
but
nothing.
Everybody bought in at 42 or 4,000, 4,200, 4,400.
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, and I know, I know, and I did as well. And then, now people are like, well, what do we do? So regardless of the fact, if you want to sell right now or you did sell right now, that's fine. Like keep that money in that account. And as things tick up, then jump back in. Like that's whatever. I mean, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can.
That's how crypto gets a bad name. So like people will buy the tops and sell the bottoms when you should be doing the dead opposite. And I think a lot of people do that because of
they're
FOMO.
Scared. They have their money sitting out. And what I'm saying is this is going to go back the other way. So but don't miss this opportunity as well. So like if you're on the sidelines, then start dripping it back in because you'll be lucky to buy now if this is a bottom. You know what I mean?
Insanely lucky.
Everybody else is saying, even the market even the markets on CNN are telling people that, they're suggesting that this is the buying opportunity as well. And we all think that. No, of course. And so what I'm saying is, like for the people that did,
I'm just looking at the Ethereum chart live as you're talking.
For the people that were nervous and sold off, because what it made me question is, okay, I'm kind of diversified in these altcoins here. I have a few different things going on. So my thought is though, did am I still confident in the ones I picked? Because if that does pull back and only, Bitcoin, Ethereum, blah, 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 it makes me start second guessing that stuff. And I'm like, dude, you've done your homework. Just fucking go in. And if you can put more in, put a little bit more in, and then just sit and see that. Or if you're comfortable with the risk tolerance, then just sit and see. But it's easy to start second guessing our strategies or whatever, our philosophies or whatever you want to call it. And
emotions have no place in investing. And that's the problem with a lot of people is they add emotion into it, and which is fear, which is also greed. Both of those are emotions, right?
That's true. But if you are able to sit here and say, hey, I've done my research, but I also know I don't know enough, that's doubt. That's all it is. It's doubt.
I would say that
it's also respecting that you don't know everything.
And that's what I was saying earlier about how I think I only know like 10 or 15% of the game. Yeah.
So it's a hard thing. It's emotional.
The more you get educated, the better off you are. And the less you'll be willing to sell during one of these dips. You'll start to learn. That's why they say buy the fucking dip. That's why they have that.
Yeah.
BTFD.
It's interesting, man. It's also interesting in how people watch it. Are you looking at it at a 15-minute view? Are you looking at it from a 1-year view? Are you looking at it from a 10-year?
Right now I'm on the 5-minute with the books rolling live right now. If you guys want to take a look at what I see,
let's take a look. Let's take a look. I just upgraded to the Pro account. I'm
actually in Coinbase Pro right now, just checking out this because I like to watch the books in Coinbase Pro because their books are live because it's an actual exchange. Yeah. So you can see this is the number of Ethereum being traded every second. But my chart here is a 5-minute chart. But you can see how much Ethereum is traded and how fucking fast this thing moves and how crazy it is. And this is also another view of the books right now. So you can see kind of how the books are looking. So you can see how many buy orders, how many sell orders, and you can see exactly what's going on and where they're at. You can see like all of the cost associated with all this stuff. You can see there's 2,000. Here's the number of orders on the side here. This one's really good. This one reminds me, what I call this is the Harry Potter versus Voldemort battle. You know how they had the two wands spitting the red and they were like fighting? This is what happens all day with me. I watch this all day. And this thing will actually start to take on a life of its own. It's pretty cool. And this line will be, this is a battle here against good versus evil, pretty much. And this thing will move up and down the price range as as one of the sides wins, essentially. And then the candlestick chart, the normal shit.
Oh, I like Coinbase Pro as well, really and I'm starting to try to get into, like I said, some of that trading stuff.
I like that.
Just so that I can learn some of the analysis behind the hunches and behind the rhythms that I see. I'm like I would say my styles, I'm like a macro style, right? I would say I like to watch the world. I like to try to read the front page. Let's call it of the Wall Street Journal, and then kind of see what's happening in the world. But is the president traveling overseas? That affects things. Like what's going on? Are there hurricanes? The other, that type of stuff. But something I want to share is interesting at TradingView. I just grabbed this Black Friday sale. Something that I want to share is in there too. What people, you'll hear this, and like this. Whatever, this is new to me, so I'm going to share it anyway. But volatility, they'll say volatility, right? Like Bitcoin, let's just say, or Ethereum is too volatile, right? And you can let that play if you want, but it's too volatile. And why that is, people don't like that, is because people use leverage. And so they'll buy things like I did earlier, and I got liquidated out of a position, and that's why I'm sharing this. So what happened is I bought some stuff with a bit of margin. Means I could spend a little bit more
than he actually has
that I had, and I could leverage that so that my gains were quicker. Right?
Yeah, leverage is a factoring of what he's trying to bet, pretty much.
It's a factoring. He can leverage it
2x, 3x, 4x,
20x, 100x. I mean, I had whatever, money in there, and I was 20xing leverage, and and you can, if you can play that game during the day, but you kind of can't walk away from that. And the thing is, you can't walk away from that one because it's not, and it can
change in a second.
It can change in a second, and you might not even be fast enough to execute the trade fast enough to get money. But regardless of that fact, I mean, it's kind of fun. It's a different thing, but the volatility they don't like because people want to come in and put leverage on, but you can't, it's so volatile, they'll get liquidated out right away, which is also good because it brings that speculative type money not really into that space. And so people will also then just buy it, right? They'll just buy the asset, right? Which is great.
Yep.
But I just wanted
Hold
to
on
share,
for dear
if people
life.
hear, volatility, what does that mean? It means that it goes up and down so quickly during the day that, like, you might have this position here, and if it dips below
1 minute
1,000,
it's up 20.
you're
next minute it's down
liquidated.
20.
Boom, it can go down
Yeah.
$2,000 in a second and be right back where it was. And it
Right.
will move you out of your position and take all the little money in that account, gone.
Gone.
Yeah, immediately. So watch that. But in volatility, and that's what you'll see, it gets labeled as a bad thing, but I don't really think it's horrible.
It's not. No, you can use it to your advantage. When I do my options tradings, I use volatility to make more money. That's why I pick my option. My option prices or my strike prices are all based on volatility. I don't want too much, but I don't want too little. Because if you have too little, you're not going to get paid. If you have too much, like you said, you're going to be gripping and ripping. So you want that like sweet spot. So I always look for a sweet spot in volatility so I can get paid, but I don't have to watch it every second of every day.
Yeah. And with this stuff, you have to watch it. And, it's funny. I was playing a little game. I was playing a game with it. It was like gambling. And I was like, all right, if it moves up 20%, I'll cash it out. If it moves down 20%, I'll cash it out. I have my rules. But watch that thing, because when that thing's climbing and you're at 20%, and all of a sudden it's at 27%, you're like, oh, let's see how high it can go.
Whoa. Yeah, exactly.
Get your ass out at 20, because by the time you hit go, it's going to be 18. But
bro, that's why I was telling you about my 75% rule on options. It's the same principle. That's my rule. Once I get above that 75% rule, I start executing orders, because I don't want to get too greedy and try to get all, 100%, because like you said, something might happen, news might come out and somebody might sell that fucking news. And the next thing you know, boom, you're down 123%, because the downside is unlimited. Your upside is the only thing that's capped, because that's, what you pretty much sold at in options anyway.
Options.
So your downside is unlimited. So you don't want to catch that bad news and tank with that thing, because then you're going to be down a shit ton. Now, granted, you won't lose any more than you necessarily, in options, you're not losing anything. You're just losing potential profit. But to Joel's point, you could lose everything that you had sitting there as your margin in a heartbeat. Yeah.
No, that's
you
interesting.
don't want margin calls if you get like true leverage and you start to operate on margin, because a lot of these big wigs have some room to operate on margin, and that's why you hear that word a lot in the stock market, at least, because people operate on borrowed money essentially, and then if they start losing too much of it, or they wait too long to get back into the green or put more money into the account, they'll start calling you saying, hey, bro, you got to start adding some fucking cash here. This is a margin call. You're too far behind. We need some money from you to keep these positions open, or they'll liquidate all your shit and take your money.
That's how this one was. I mean, this one wouldn't even let you leverage higher than what you had in the account.
So it was covered. I like that.
It was, but it was covered it was covered to an extent, right? Because they let you go on the top end, but if it reached a certain number, they immediately, even if it blipped there, they liquidated the money in the thing. And I was like, and I knew it could happen, but I went to sleep on it one night just as kind of I was like,
it's a good lesson, man.
Yeah, I'm going to go check it out. And that was interesting. But anyway,
I like it. That's an education that you cannot pay for. You're not going to Dartmouth. You're not going to Brown University and learning that shit. The only way you learn that is in the trenches next to me and Joel with your M14, and you got your helmet on, and you look over and you see me and Joel. We look a little roughed up. We've seen some action. We've taken a couple bullets. We might be bleeding and cut a little bit, but we're still sitting there going, hey, man, buy Ethereum right now. Trust me on this. Buy Ethereum.
You're going
let's go,
it.
Joel.
Yeah.
And
Seriously.
we hop over that wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then there's people that are looking at us like, what the fuck? These guys are going back in there to take more, fire. They're going to go take more bullets. Holy cow, dude. They must know something I don't. Maybe I should duck over the wall. They pick their head up. They look over the wall. The bullet goes flying past their face. They're like, whoa, maybe
I'm not going.
Cash out right here. I'm going to cash out 4,100. Yeah. I don't care if I lost $300 a share. I'm going to cash out right here. I can't handle this. And it's not for everybody. I get it.
There's going to be a guy sitting right there going,
we'll do it.
There's going to be a guy sitting right there going, and then he's going to take the shares you just sold. And there's always going to be somebody. There's always going to be somebody.
Yeah.
Well, look at the flat out line that, last year Bitcoin was the best performing asset, asset, right? Yeah. So I think that it would be a safe bet. Actually, you know what? I feel like it's just as a safe bet to put your money in Bitcoin
Hell
as
yeah.
it is. Let's just say this. And as it is to put it in the stock market, because the stock market could easily crash just as easily as
Like
this
we
shit
saw
could. If you
today.
think Bitcoin's going to crash, I would say that our market has a higher chance of doing that.
Oh, hell yeah. And you might
Because-
see these huge percentages of Bitcoin crashes and stuff like that. But that, I'm telling you, everything does operate in percentages, and I got it. But to Joel's point, that's just because of the volatility aspect of Bitcoin, and it's unregulated, and mommy and daddy central bank and government aren't controlling it. Like literally, mommy and daddy central bank and government control everything in the stock market, everything in the US dollar, everything in your taxes, everything in inflation. The Fed controls fucking everything. So even if the United States currency or the stock market was going to take a 30% bath, they would stop it just so that you didn't get the same fear that you get when Bitcoin drops 10, 20%.
That's
They
interesting.
halt it. They put circuit breakers in 1923 after Black Friday or Black Tuesday or whatever the fuck that day was, back when the stock market crashed in the 20s. They put circuit breakers in then. They crashed it so they could put circuit breakers in. This way they can halt trading whenever they want so that something doesn't crash down through the floor. And they've done it, I don't know, 100 times this year I've seen them do this. The biggest one I've ever seen was with GameStop and the meme stocks earlier this summer. They literally triggered every circuit breaker in the business, prevented everybody from selling, let the thing completely fucking tank. Then they turned off the circuit breakers and everyone had lost 70% of their money. So don't tell me that Bitcoin's the fucking risky investment. Don't tell me that, because I'll laugh in your face.
Well, that's interesting because the other night I was texting you where Coinbase was actually down. I was out and using even a card, right? I have like a checking account, I guess you could call it. It's a crypto account, but it's tied, and I can spend it just like cash, and I get 1% back paid in Bitcoin. I've already, whatever.
Great point. I like where you're going with this.
And so, but the other night though, Coinbase was down. Remember, I was texting you, and it was about the night before actually crypto took another bath, and there's some intrigue there.
Sure.
I still own my stuff, right? But I couldn't make any trades. I couldn't make any trades.
It depends. So if you have
here's the deal.
keys,
yeah, I have private keys.
Your stuff.
Yeah,
so
I have
you
private
could have
keys.
taken those private keys and imported your wallet to MetaMask and still had all of your money right there. You can't do that if they hit circuit breakers on GameStop. You could have taken your money and moved it to Trust Wallet and been fine. You could have taken your money and moved it to Binance, been fine. You could have taken your money and moved it to Ledger and been fine. And literally done it in 30 seconds. You wouldn't have to wait 6 days for the money to transfer like mommy and daddy central bank. To give you an example, I'm waiting right now 6 days to get my money. That's ridiculous. In Ethereum, it's 15 seconds to 5 minutes tops, depending on how much you pay in gas. But here's the deal. I love what you said here, because Ethereum or all of cryptocurrency, if you have your shit on an exchange, you're doing it wrong, okay? You buy on an exchange and immediately move it to a wallet where you have private keys and seed phrases. Both of those things don't ever give to anybody, not even your wife, okay? So what I'm trying to say is, if you don't own your keys, it's not your coins. So when you have a Coinbase account and all your money's on Coinbase, that is not your money. That's on the exchange. That's Coinbase's money. If they shut down and go bye-bye, so does your money. So because there's no more mommy and daddy central bank, there's no more mommy and daddy government with insurance that'll help you out. Coinbase walks with your money. So get it off the fucking exchange, go buy yourself a $100 ledger and put that shit on cold storage. Or you could be too lazy, roll the dice and lose $100,000. It's up to you.
But to that point, you're going to keep money in there because it is a trading platform, right?
Yeah,
you're going to keep money there.
Bounce around.
But also, yes, you can transfer that anytime you want. So like, yes, transfer it over to your MetaMask. No, exactly. Not if Coinbase is down. And that was to my point.
Leave all of it in there.
So it's like, and that's to my point, like these things can go down. But to Tony's point, the Bitcoin thing, Bitcoin's not going down.
No. You can't stop cryptocurrency. If Coinbase goes down, and if you have your money on the exchange and any exchange goes down, that's your fault.
Yeah, it's just
I have 90% of all of my assets on a ledger in the safe below my feet. 90%. I keep less than 10%, I would say, on the exchanges or in my Meta or in my Trust or in my Phantom or on the bridge or wherever.
This is great.
Less than 10%.
So this is great.
in play.
So then you're going to, let's say, go on to today. Someone is going to go and they're going to buy a 1 Bitcoin.
Yes.
Then instead of, they're going to buy that Bitcoin and it's going to sit in, let's say they use Coinbase. It's going to sit there and they're going to look at their Bitcoin every day and they're going to see it going up and down and up and down and up and down. Otherwise, you can take that Bitcoin, send it to your one of your
Meta. Let's use Meta.
Send it to MetaMask, and it can sit there, right?
That's a wallet,
and that is a wallet. Now it's in your wallet. It's not, but it's still in the market, right? Bitcoin's still going up and down, still going up and down, still going up and down.
Still got all the appreciation, depreciation. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you come back to the market with your 1 Bitcoin, it'll either be worth, whatever 100,000 or it'll be worth 50,000.
Yeah.
Like whatever it's going to be worth, but it still gets to appreciate. You don't have, like Tony's saying, you don't have to keep it in there. You know what I mean? You'll keep money in there because you're trading.
Yeah.
But that's like
buying NFTs. And shit. Sure. That's
because
awesome.
I had said I have a Coinbase card and I use it kind of like a checking account when I'm out, but it's also I know that those are profits and I know that I could spend it. And that's also how I know that it's like, hey, fun. It's cool. And that's already money gone. And it's a cool way to use it.
Coinbase is centralized and
that's why it's
defeats the purpose. Exactly. Exactly. Coinbase is publicly traded. They are insured. Coinbase is centralized. And that kind of defeats the purpose of decentralization. And that's what cryptocurrency is all about. But you have to be able to buy it somewhere, right?
You got to buy it somewhere. There's plenty of places to buy it.
There really is. And the fees are what it's all about. You find cheap fees, buy there. I don't care what the platform is, as long as it's secure and it's good.
That's true. That's true.
It has to be secure. It has to be good. It has to offer the coin you want, and it has to have cheap fees. If you can get those 4 items hit, go buy there. But the minute that you buy, like Joel said, I implore you to take it and just at least move it to Meta. Just at least move it to Meta, or stake it. If you stake that through your Coinbase exchange on chain, then at least it's on chain. It's not sitting in the exchange.
That's a good point. Another thing you can do with it too is within Meta, like MetaMask. Let's say you have Bitcoin and you really want Ethereum, you can swap it.
Yes.
You can also swap it, right? So you don't have to just go then cash out, buy it. You don't even
bring
have to
it back to Coinbase. You
can swap it, right? For however much you want, right? For Ethereum.
You can buy and swap on your ledger now too.
Right on your ledger.
You don't have to take it off the ledger anymore.
That's
they have
amazing.
all that built in, dude. And this wasn't
amazing,
like this
guys.
when I started like a year and a half ago. I only started a year and a half, 18 months ago, maybe something like that. This wasn't like that when I first got the ledger. It was like whatever was on there, that's it. And you had this little screen and there was no interface, no apps. You had to literally use these tools.
And what happens
is Pac-Man graphics.
What happens is we learn the hard way. So you get into Coinbase because that's where it's easy. In fact, my family were here. They were using crypto.com. That's where they had their crypto. And my sister was on Robinhood still, which was fine because
totally fine.
That's where we were. So I could speak to her about that. Yeah. I learned crypto.com. I actually bought some of that stock because they named the Staples Center crypto.com.
Yeah, they're going huge.
I was on my brother-in-law. What's up, Phil? Yeah, I was on my brother-in-law's phone. I was learning crypto.com. I was like, okay, this is how it works. Some things I actually like about it, for sure. They kind of let you do. I think they let you do options, kind of like Robinhood
futures. Yeah, like the futures.
I got to look at it again because I was hopping back and forth from everyone's phones. But a lot of great conversations.
Coinbase Pro does some futures thing too, or something. I haven't looked.
Coinbase Pro too. Yeah, I mean, online is better. I mean, the app is whatever. But speaking about the Thanksgiving thing, and we could probably wrap up or whatever. But
back on the treadmill.
Yeah, well, you got to get back on. I'm gonna buy one. And we had good talks, man. It was cool to have these type of talks with family where it wasn't political. We don't do that really. And it wasn't there wasn't a lot of shit going down in our family.
I don't talk COVID and Biden and bullshit at parties with families. I avoid that like the plague.
Yeah, COVID actually played a weird thing, and I'm not gonna talk about it tonight, but played a weird thing in our family dynamic this year. It was really crazy. But I saw your post on Twitter. Yeah, I saw your.
Which one? I've been going.
I know, man. You've been going off. You said something about I don't even know if the show will even now get seen because we've said words, whatever.
I don't care anymore. No, I don't work for anybody anymore. You can say whatever you want.
No,
here. I give a shit.
I want our friends to see it, but I don't know if YouTube shuts it down, whatever you say. So, but yeah, you made a post about, do you know somebody who's got it and died or something?
I was being a little truthful there, because I do know like 2 people that have gotten it.
Yeah. And well, I just think you're making the overall point that, like, look at it. Like, how many people do you know have had it? I know a few.
Run the stats,
I know through some family friend that somebody had passed away, whether or not they were sick before, I don't know.
And that's horrible.
Yeah. And
I'm not condoning death. I'm not saying that death is good. I'm just talking to everybody else. But again, at the same time, I'm just super tired of them shutting down the world for a 0.003% of death from the common cold, and then never-ending boosters, never-ending variants, never-ending shots and shit. I just can't handle that, man.
I don't understand why. Yeah, I don't understand why. If that they don't talk about. They talk about cases, but we don't talk about deaths. And the number
because the deaths are so low.
I know. And so my thought is, like,
that doesn't instill fear.
I know, but if people were rolling in the streets, dying off this thing, like people would be fucking
freaking out,
standing in line for that shot. And it just so happens that there's a bunch of people that aren't. And I think that should be fine. That's it. But, God bless everybody that got through this shit. And I know it's not easy. I've had
COVID. I got over COVID. I didn't miss a workout. I'm telling you, it's not a big deal. The thing is here's the problem, right?
Yeah.
Here's the problem with anything, right? If you're not going to take care of yourself and you're not going to do what you need to do to make sure that your body's healthy, so that when you do enter a flu season or a cold season, or somebody does get sick around you, if you're not going to take care of yourself and make sure that your immune system is as good as it could possibly be, and you're dumping dog shit food into your body, and you're fucking partying until 2 a.m. every day, and you've been smoking a pack of cigarettes for 20 years, what do you think is going to happen, dude? For real, what do you think is going to happen? And then to beg Big Pharma, who has the worst track record in the history of humankind for killing people and getting sued for it. They just settled in the biggest lawsuit of all time for killing people. I mean, like, dude, what else do you need to know to not trust these motherfuckers when they say that this is what's going down? And then when you look into it, it's not going down like that. The stats don't match up to the rhetoric, the narrative. I've been to the hospital multiple times since coronavirus broke out. I went to a hospital. They said that they had no more beds available. All of their ICU units were taken. It was overrun and they didn't have enough people. I went to one of those hospitals like 5 minutes after reading one of these posts, okay? I went there. And guess what? There was 3 fucking people in the entire hospital. I had 6 nurses just for me because they didn't have anything to do. But if you would have read on all of social media and all of news, you would have thought that that hospital was overrun with COVID patients and they were spilling out the fucking front door. That was all bullshit and all lies. And there's a shit ton of people going around calling them on that bullshit now. So I'm tired of people sitting here telling me that I should do what they said because their vaccine doesn't fucking work. Okay. Yeah. If your vaccine worked, then you should be totally cool, calm, confident, and collective about this whole fucking thing. But because it doesn't, and you fucking know it doesn't, you're up my ass for getting a vaccine, which cost me my fucking job and my fucking in the ability for me to provide for my fucking family. And now I have to figure something else out, which could be a blessing in disguise. Don't get me wrong. But because of everybody else's fear, it is now coming down on me and it's now affecting my life because everybody else is afraid of some fucking news report when they don't want to do their own research. They don't want to take care of their own fucking immune system. They don't want to eat better. They don't want to work out. They don't want to do what they need to fucking do. And instead they beg for the fucking shot and then they force it on everybody else because your vaccine doesn't fucking work. Don't get me started.
I love it. How about this? Okay, so I have friends who are in the realm of friend Dave, in the realm of maybe losing his job after January because of this, right? And he said this to me in a text the other day to make perfect sense because they talk about this all the time. Anyway, I was going to maybe say more about him, but I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, like, so there's the people that are vaccinated are pissed off at the ones that aren't, or something to that effect. And so everybody comes into a gathering and they say, okay, we would like the unvaccinated people to then take a test to come to the party or come to the event or whatever you want to call it. And so, but everybody else, even though they've been vaccinated, can still get sick, right?
Same viral load.
And
Same
get
exact
people
viral
sick.
load, already said by the CDC, this is not me.
I just wonder why, like, everybody that's going to the event doesn't get tested. Why is it only the unvaccinated that's getting tested?
They want to divide and conquer.
Yeah, because I think
peer pressure.
That was valid. Like, it's like, why wouldn't everybody? And so I think that's like a short-sighted miss. I mean, you're saying,
here, you want me to give you something else on
how
that?
come that's
really
not
fast too? So don't forget that about 20% of the vaccinated took a placebo. So you're going to have a bunch of people with a vax card running around at that event that have not been vaccinated, that have the same exact viral load as everybody else, just like I said.
You think that
can? Yeah,
I didn't hear about the placebo unless that's always how it's done.
That's always been. Well, no, they had to do it this time because they didn't do any human trials. They had to work the placebo into the vaccine rollout because they didn't do any human trials. If anyone doesn't believe me, you can go look this up. They had to do a placebo. And they've already talked about this many, many times. They even will say it on the news and shit. They'll be like, well, this percentage, and then there's the placebo group as well. You know, you'll hear them say it all the time. So there's people running around right now who have not been vaccinated that have a fucking vax card.
Well, that's interesting. Let's talk about the placebo effect for a minute.
Sure.
How come we don't actually go down that rabbit hole? Because if, let's just say 20% of the time, placebo people who take the placebo actually get better, right? That's why we even do this study, because people think it and it happens. Yeah. How come we're not like quadrupling down on the fucking placebo effect and how our mind is helping us and like learning more about that? We're always like, it's just the placebo effect and we go on about our lives. I'm sure you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh, dude,
it's kind of an interesting question.
I agree 100%.
There's probably a lot done there. I need to maybe go look down that rabbit hole.
The problem is that it doesn't make any money. So if a doctor can't charge $33,000 to an insurance company and it can't be coded on an insurance fucking card, then they're not going to do it. That's the problem.
That's the guy who sits on the couch and yells at the TV. I want to know the philosopher Tony Jones. And like, do you think there's like, do you think we could increase that by like 1%? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if the
mind is stronger than anything,
how do we lean on that a little bit and say, wow, the group went from 20% placebo that improved to 30%. Right there would be like life changing. It's
they do find that out, but they don't do anything with that information.
Yeah, that's so fucked up.
Because it's not protocol.
No,
so if everyone doesn't understand this, there are
if you could heal yourself, why would they want you to know that?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Dude, you're starting to hit on them. But here's the problem. In cases like COVID, for example, there is legal protocol that hospitals are forced to follow. And if they don't follow this protocol, they do not receive any of the government funding, which is $64,000 per COVID patient that goes on a ventilator. You just heard me right. Each person that goes on a ventilator gets $64,000 from the government.
I worked at a hospital for 4 years in HR.
So why do you think there was a huge run on ventilators and everything at the beginning of COVID? Because they were trying to fucking cash in. A lot of these hospitals were bankrupt and ready to close, dude. And so like everybody doesn't
That's
follow
why
the
we had a
money,
ventilation shortage, a ventilator shortage.
Of course. And
it was like people trying to mint NFTs on the jump.
Yes. It was fucking gas war, but it was ventilator war.
It was.
So this protocol says that, hey, if you show up with COVID, test positive for COVID, and your blood oxygen level drops below a certain point, I don't know what that number is, they're forced to put you on a ventilator. Once you go on the ventilator, there's some insane percentage of people that fucking die, right? You're almost guaranteed to die if you get put on a vent. You know, if you're intubated, you're going to probably fucking die. That's what everybody says. I don't know the numbers on that, so I'm not going to sit here and spit fake shit. So the problem is that COVID's not killing people. It's them getting intubated and going on ventilators for absolutely no reason so that the hospital can cash in. That's the fucking problem. That's what's killing people. Like, I don't think people know this either. Like 73% of everybody that died in the Spanish flu didn't die of the Spanish flu. They died of an upper respiratory infection from wearing a mask. I mean, like,
No, I mean, you can't just throw that shit out there, dude. You're gonna have to
it
bounce
up.
some links underneath or some shit.
Yeah, look it up.
All right,
dude.
we can look it up, but yeah.
Because they were wearing masks. They didn't clean the masks. They didn't change the masks, just like everyone today. And they were all forced to wear them in every government building, in every school, kids, parents, everybody had to wear them. And these fucking masks trap bacteria, force that bad bacteria back into you as you took a deep breath. And that, over and over and over and over. And everybody ended up getting past the Spanish flu, no problem. But they all
this
died of
is
pneumonia.
disgusting because think about, like, I know we're getting on this and whatever, but it's pertinent, right? So fuck it.
It is.
The thing about is when old boy comes out or somebody comes out who everybody respects and we're all supposed to follow and says that initially masks don't work, right?
Yeah.
And
his
and
words,
look at the
not mine.
data on this stuff and look at the data on the stuff. And then they change their tune. And how come, groupthink is so strong because we
That's
all
insane.
just do it. And
Yeah.
if you go to these stores, most stores, I haven't tested Target. For some reason, I feel like Target will kick me out if I don't
Nope.
wear one.
I go in there and walk around.
Yeah, but
no
like
problem.
every other
So does
store in
Dakota.
town, I don't wear one, even though we're in a mandate in Lincoln. But Omaha
So
does
are we.
not have. Omaha doesn't have one though, and we're in the same
Good.
state.
Yeah.
We're 45 minutes away from each other. So you go up there and you're like, what's everybody doing? You feel weird. But tonight I went to the store and my mom's here and she's high risk. And she's just like, hey, if you go to the store, would you wear a mask? I'm like, fuck yeah. If you want me to, I will. Because that would be ridiculous. That would be stupid. Now, but I don't wear them normally because I don't think it's healthy to wear one. And these kids, we're going to gymnastics class and the kids all have them on in the gymnastics area. And it's like, at one point, I'm just like, this is us, and it doesn't make any sense. But what do you?
Yeah.
Your kid has to have exercise. This is crazy.
No, and I'm telling you, the one thing that you can do to make sure that you poison your body, to make sure that you're super unhealthy, to make sure that you're not going to make it, is to restrict your breathing, is to prevent your body from breathing clean air. That's the one way that you can positively, absolutely guarantee that everybody's going to get really fucking sick and be really, really ill, is to restrict your air and restrict your breathing. If you were going to try to sell a vaccine, if you were going to try to sell fear, and you were going to try to sell a pandemic, ironically, one of the best ways to do it would be to get everybody to breathe bad air. And ironically, right after they figured that out, they made a mask mandate. Ironically, right after old boy said that masks don't do shit. So, let's get a story straight here. But as they figure it out, they're like, no, this works pretty good. Everybody's not doing what we want anymore. New variant. And it's going to kill everybody 5 to 10 times quicker. And it's 5 to 10 times more transmissible. It's like, show lights. Here, hit them with all the fear. Hit them with all the big lights. Spread it around. Here. This is the script. Every single news station has to read this exact same script.
That's true. That's true.
The narrative.
So how does it get handled if it was real?
Here's what happens if it was real.
People fucking start dying immediately. Like,
if this was a real pandemic,
yeah.
If there was a real pandemic, the first sign you would notice is that you would hear sirens nonstop. Like you would hear ambulances and fire trucks nonstop.
That's true. That's true.
That would be your first sign. Your
That's
second
true.
sign would be you going to work and people not showing up all of a sudden anymore. And it would happen like week by week, like 2 people this week and then another person, then 3 people, and you wouldn't hear what happened to them. And then you try to call their house and no one would answer. Or you would try to go over there and no one would answer. Then you'd start to, think a little bit crazier. Obviously the news would be going fucking nuts at this point and blasting it way out of proportion. But you'd be talking to friends that are firemen or paramedics, and they would say, hey, people aren't coming in here with COVID like they do now. They'd be like, every single person is dead. Not 0.003, like 90%. That's what I'm saying. And everyone's going to be like, oh, you're going to wait till 90% to do something? This guy's a total fucking idiot. Turn off YouTube. But no, dude, that's what I'm saying. That's what a real pandemic is.
That's how
this
fast
is not
it
a
would
fucking
happen.
pandemic. That's
You're
how
not
fast
waiting.
it would happen.
Yeah, that's how fast it would happen.
No one would survive. No one would be able to make this happen. We would lose two-thirds of the entire fucking world's population, just like what happened in every other real pandemic that's ever happened.
Yeah.
But everybody is erasing the history books. Everybody's ripping down all the statues. Everybody's burning all the fucking history so that no one can remember this shit. They don't want you to remember, because if you don't know your history, then you're doomed to repeat it, and they can use it against you to manipulate you.
Wow.
Remember that shit. Why do you think Hitler said burn all the books? That's why Hitler said burn all the books, because he knew that if he could get rid of all the history and have everybody rewrite history from that moment going forward, that no one could stop him, because no one would have any way to educate themselves against the fucking game plans and the manipulation and the shit that he was trying to do. That's why he had everybody burn all those
it's
books.
the only way to gain complete, like, world, like, let's say, power without having, by resetting humanity without having like a cataclysmic event.
Yeah,
right. You have to create it.
Asteroid impact.
You have to create it, right? So that happens. That's interesting. No, man, yeah, that's valuable. I love the way you play it out, because sometimes people can't see the future that actually plays, to itself. Like when you look at Tesla and some other these guys, and I know you got to run.
No, it's all good.
And they talk
I
about
did pretty
the
good
future.
on my rings. I'm in a good spot, man.
Yeah, and you talk about Gary Vee, and he always talks about how he has a good pulse on human nature, but also attention and like just what people do and how things play out. That's why I sent you that link. I don't know if you saw it, but he's talking about photographers and photography being the next hot thing in NFTs, and how that space is going to be. So I think like you have an opportunity to maybe build your own page with all the back work that you have, and I'll fucking. You want to put one out? I'll be the first person to buy it, and I would love to be that person.
What's funny too is I think that is the way that everything's going to go. It's like once everybody realizes that they can tokenize, because I want to use the word tokenize, because that's what everything's.
That's a great starting point.
It's a tokenization of the world, right? So and you've heard me say this before on this show. The world will be tokenized. Everything will be tokenized. And I think that this is just more of, like the first adopters. Of course, artists, photography, music, that type of stuff is going to be the first, because those are the most creative people.
Let me ask you this question. This is a great one to end on, maybe. Even though, and maybe you and I will just chat offline, but this is a great one. So, you hear the story of people buying IBM back in the 80s. We talked about this, and like, those funny movies, like they find the things and like, oh my gosh, and it's worth, $10 million, 20, whatever, $100 million, whatever the hell it's worth. So how does somebody in a short, simple thing, how do they do that right now? So let's say I want to put 10 grand in something, because yes, there's all these coins, and what I hear, and while I'll preface this with, and what I hear is that all these altcoins and all these other shit, like a lot of them are going to go away. A lot of them are going to run their course. A lot of them they're going to be projects or businesses that didn't make it.
Agreed.
So that's why it's like, yes, you can make cool money there. But anyway, we start back at the beginning. So you know where I'm heading. So how do I buy, like, let's say 10 grand, I lock it up and for my son, and I say, and I put in a trust and I say, this can't be opened until 2060 or whatever the hell it was, just have a little fun with it. I'm going to still leave him mothership, but let's leave him a treasure map, dude. Let's make his life awesome.
That'd be
I want his life to be beautiful. And this
almost
is
like Goonies, baby.
Yeah, let's do Goonies for my son. And so that when he lives his life, he'll be like, man, my dad really thought about everything for me. And I just want him to know that. So how do I do that? Like, I'm going to, and this is for everybody, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to cold store it. I'm going to whatever, because the question I have to that is cold storage. It's digital. It loses its magnetization.
Or whatever, power.
No, because the storage life of a book could be centuries, and the storage life of a CD-ROM is like 20 years before it loses its magnetization.
Sure.
Or it could be 50 years. It could be, there is that. So what do I do?
That's the best thing about crypto, right? So let's say you lose your ledger. Okay. Let's say you lose
What's my
wallet.
ledger?
Your wallet, let's say
wallet, my MetaMask. I got MetaMask.
You lose something like that. Let's say it loses its ability to turn on or whatever. The beautiful thing about the blockchain, like I said, is it's decentralized.
But you're saying that's what I'll be storing it. I won't be doing cold storage.
Well, no. So if the ledger's cold storage, here's the best part though. So
go ahead.
If your ledger shits out, as long as you have those seed words or those private keys, one of those two things, you have to keep those super secure. And those you can write in a book. You can put them on an iPad. You can tattoo them on your fucking body. You could literally, like you said, you could put them in a hole. Yeah, you could put that into a fire.
He's got a lot of them right here.
And bury it next to a tree. You know what I'm saying? Like you said with your kid. Now, here's the best part about crypto, right? As long as you have those things, this is the key. That's why I keep saying that. There is roughly 2,000 copies of the ledger floating throughout the entire world. So they would pretty much, this is why I always say this, you'd pretty much have to end the entire earth, blow it up all at once, or you'd have to EMP the entire world. And that would still be, I bet you there's some shit underground that's protected that has the blockchain ledger on it that would still be able to be recovered. But yeah, I mean, you would have to pretty much, the sun would have to swallow the earth in order for you not to get your crypto back.
Right. So
as long as
what
you're
you're
private
saying
keys.
is buy whatever it's going to be, let's say Bitcoin, because
Sure.
if that is the dominant, the most expensive, let's say the biggest
market cap,
the biggest market cap,
best adoption,
the most adoption, and let's say the safest. Let's just say that. Let's call it the safest, right? At this point. So buy that, put it in a thing, write those 12 words down, tattoo them on your baby's ass, and then on your own ass.
That's
and
great.
then
hopefully no one steals your kid.
And then just set it and forget it, and just watch the price of Bitcoin and know you can write down the price you bought it at if that makes you happy, because it's nice to calculate. It's fun to calculate that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to see the percentage that you're up. And Tony always preaches percentage. Always look at the percentages. So you'd be like, wow, I'm up.
Except for crypto, really.
100%.
I mean,
well,
crypto, like I said, one Bitcoin's worth one Bitcoin. That's why I always.
Well, no. You have to look at it though, because you're buying percentages of Bitcoin in the beginning, probably, unless you're dropping 60 grand on a coin, right? Aren't you still looking at percentages? Like if you're looking at that, or you're saying if you have a whole number of Bitcoins, that's what you're saying.
Or I'm just saying this, like if a lot of people immediately go to the United States dollar, like one Bitcoin's worth 60 grand. You just did it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But one Bitcoin is not worth 60 grand. One Bitcoin's worth one Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's
true. A tough thing to wrap your head around, because everybody wants to operate in United States money, and everyone wants to compare it to something.
But hold on, it's because but we have to, and it's funny because look at OpenSea Marketplace; it'll tell you the Ethereum price, and then it tells you the US dollar price.
Because
and I know
they know
okay.
That there's people that need that.
We need to understand that conversion, right? Instead of looking at, so my point here is like, it matters to Bitcoin if you're spending it in Bitcoin, right? Oh, I have 2 Bitcoin and I'm going to buy this Ferrari. It's 1 Bitcoin.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Instead of it's dollars. I have 2 Bitcoin and this thing costs 12 grand. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean?
So, well, I'll give you a good example.
You're spending like currency, I guess is what I'm saying.
So I'll give you a good example. Do you think the people in Germany go, here, I want to use these Deutschmarks, which is the equivalent to $23,000 in United States money? They do not. You know what I'm saying? They're like, this is a Deutschmark. One Deutschmark is one Deutschmark.
Yeah.
There's no difference between that and Bitcoin.
No, they're saying this Bitcoin's going to cost me 12,000 Deutschmarks. They're just reading it in their own language.
No. I'm saying, do you think that the people that use Deutschmarks go up to everybody and they're like, hey, man, I just made 2 Deutschmarks, which is worth $30,000? No, they don't. They say, I just made 2 Deutschmarks. They don't compare it to United States money.
I know that. I know, but I'm talking to the people probably in America right now. That's who I'm talking to, right?
Well, that's the thing about NFTs that I've learned too, is NFTs are like a global space, right? So there's everybody's in NFTs. So when everybody in the Discord starts talking about stuff, a lot of the people from other countries are like, whoa, bro, we're not all American here. Stop with that.
The one guy goes, where are you at, Russia? And he's like, actually, I am. And I was like, so that was the day I was like, this is seriously global. Then we get in on an AMA call and everybody's got an accent. And I feel so happy to be there. In fact, I was pissed I missed it. The last 2 cats calls, the mutant cat calls, I'm getting on this one this week because they're awesome, man. I love it. It makes me feel so a part of it.
It's global, right? So that's what I've learned the most out of this whole thing is when people start saying, like, oh my God, it's 2 a.m. here. It's so late. Well, actually it's like noon in Russia, bro. And these guys are all in the middle of the day, so like there's perspective there that I think that a lot of Americans in particular have a problem with. When I traveled to Europe, that was the one thing that I heard from a lot of Europeans, right? When I'd be sitting at the bars, drinking with them, hanging out with them, partying with them and stuff, they're like, we love you because you're not arrogant and you don't think that you come in here and own the place and fucking, that everybody should bow down to you because you're American, blah, blah. They fucking hate that about us. We think that everything should be in United States money all of the times, and everything should be based on our times. All of the, everything in the world should revolve around the United States. And we have like this really bad way of communicating with the world because we're from the United States. And I think that that's one of the biggest problems we face, is that we think that everything should revolve around us when it just doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was saying, does the guy that operates in euros say, immediately, oh, I got paid €2, which is worth, $4,000. No, dude, it's €2. The same thing is with cryptocurrency. If you're taking 2 Ethereum and you're like, oh my God, what is this in United States money? What is this United States money? You're not thinking about it right. Two Ethereum is 2 Ethereum.
That's true, but we're in the middle of a conversion ourselves. We're in the middle of converting our money into that. And that's why this happens, because we also need to know what the value of 2 Ethereum is, especially if you don't know what the current price is, because we're dealing in currencies now, which is interesting, right? We went from the stock
currency
market thing,
pairs.
Currencies, which currency pairs? That's interesting. We're going to have to talk something about that.
That's what you deal with.
So, the guy in the...
There's no such thing as dealing in one currency. They're always in pairs. Keep going.
Always tied to something.
Yes.
So in the guy in Europe, of course, he isn't saying these €2 or $2. They're saying, oh my gosh, this NFT is going to cost me 1 Ethereum, which is actually 4,000 euros. That's what that's what he's thinking.
Sure.
Yeah. Sure. Because he is, or she, or they, or whatever the fuck they want to be, we're all converting right now. We will be in that market, but we will still think, I think, in a native currency. I think we will say, we will hold a native currency, whether it's Ethereum, and you'll say, oh, wow, I could, it's 7 Bitcoins, which is actually only 14.5 Ethereum. We'll still think in a native currency, I think.
What if like you're Odell Beckham?
Context. Excuse me?
What if you're Odell Beckham and he gets paid from his job in Bitcoin? So he never sees United States dollars.
Yeah, he'll think in Bitcoin. That's what I'm saying. Like, you'll have a native currency. We all will. It'll be not Polkadot probably, but it would be.
Let's say Bitcoin, like you said. I like that. Yeah. That's a good one to understand.
And so I think we'll start.
How many Bitcoins are these worth? Because you're right. Yeah. Everything does trade currency-wise in pairs. You're right.
And a pairs thing. So why is it in pairs? Does it have to be backed by something?
No, because you're usually going to trade it for something else. So if you're going to trade Bitcoin for Ethereum, you have to trade the Bitcoin Ethereum pair. If you're going to trade United States dollars for Ethereum, that's the pair I have to look up. So if you're going to take United States dollars and trade with euros, you have to look up the USD and the euro pair.
You know what?
So
and that's really interesting. So like even now, right? Let's say Europe had a great. I could hold my money in euros
or in
because
euros,
it's a stronger, and I think
currency.
People
a lot of people have done that for a long time.
A lot of people will keep it in the dollar because they think that the U.S. can't collapse, because they think that's a government that will collapse, because if you hold your money in, let's say, Brazilian nuts, whatever the hell it is, I'm sorry, and the thing collapses.
Is it lira?
Might be. I didn't want to look ignorant, and I looked worse than that just there, but
it's all good.
Yeah, so
we can't know it all, Joel.
No, but what I'm saying, like, let's say Argentina, for example. So you had all that money in there, and that's why some of the people, there's stories that some of the people in Argentina had Bitcoin, and their government crapped out, and all their money was gone.
Venezuela.
But they had Venezuela, but they had the money in Bitcoin, and now it was like, thank goodness they had that, because all their other money got inflated
wiped out, dude. Yeah, wiped out, and they were able to escape. That's one of the best stories I've ever heard.
I remember that.
And they were able to escape from Venezuela because they were able to protect their wealth in Bitcoin. I mean, like, dude, that's fucking unbelievable. And again, I don't suggest anybody buy all Bitcoin. I don't suggest anybody buy all Ethereum. I don't suggest anybody keep your money in money. Whatever you spread that shit out, bro.
Still diversify that shit. Yep.
Yeah.
And
Like
you
Joel
know
said,
what?
altcoins and shit. Love that stuff.
Yeah, I got some cool ones. I hope play out. It'll be fun to see.
But here,
Um,
before we go, let me answer your question because I
well,
never
wait.
answered your question.
I wanted
Go
to
ahead, go.
just do the diversification thing. If you're going to do a wallet, I would encourage you. I started in MetaMask. I would encourage you to
Love
stay there.
Meta.
I've also heard Gary Vee speak about it when he was doing his releases. He had
He
so I
was
would say
talking about Meta.
start with that wallet or do Trusted Wallet is a very
Yeah,
good
Trust
one.
Wallet. Yep.
Trust Wallet because that one works with a lot of different platforms.
Yeah.
But like write those keys down and that
Don't trump anybody.
Yeah, put them in like a couple places.
2 spots. Yep.
And
Exactly.
yeah, and put it in your or whatever the
Safe.
hell it is.
Yeah.
And
Fireproof.
anyway, yeah,
That to
but
it.
get a wallet for sure, and that's going to be the next thing because once you have a wallet, which we talked about before, just get that because that
Email us if you need some help.
That'll be your connection to everything.
It really will, especially when Web3
It will be how you pay your
browser
taxes.
extension. It really will.
It will be.
I'm telling you, you're gonna have to do it because everything that's on Web3 will not allow you to use a credit card. It will not allow you to use your money. It will not allow you to use your bank account. You're not going to ACH shit into there. The only thing that it will take is a browser extension like MetaMask, Phantom Wallet, Trust Wallet, whatever, like all Joel said, and Ethereum, usually Ethereum, maybe Solana, maybe, like Matic or something like that, or Wrapped Ethereum. Or some of these
Ripple.
Individual some of these individual places will have their own tokens that are wrapped in Ethereum or some other cryptocurrency as well.
Shit. Yeah.
So
and then we'll start thinking in USD coin because it'll be USD Tether probably. It'll be like USD Tether.
The United States cannot keep their current financial system the way it is. It will not work with Web3. And
they're just figuring out how to do things off the books. Yep.
Yeah.
It's just a way of trying to figure out how to do it off the books because there's going to have to be a way to hide things, and people need to figure that out, and that's being figured out.
They're so scared because in the Web3 environment, it's decentralized, so everybody can see the ledger. Everybody can scan anybody's address, and anybody can see what everybody's spending their money on in any given second, or I shouldn't say what they're spending their money on, where they're sending their money. So if you see the government go on the Ethereum ledger and they go full Web3, which they have no choice, they will do this one day.
They want to do it.
Well, they have to.
I mean, they should want to do it.
Well, they don't because then they won't be able to hide.
I understand that part, but the functionality of it, they should want.
Well, they're trying to block it is what the problem is. That's what's in one of these bills. So that's why I'm saying is they're gonna have a problem because we're gonna be able to then scan the United States government wallet, and then it's gonna show that they sent $3 billion to this wallet. Then we can scan that wallet and see who owns it. And if it's freaking, what's the name of the old company that Bush and those guys used to?
Oh, Halliburton.
Yeah, if that fucking $30 billion is going to Halliburton for rebuilding Afghanistan or some shit, that they're fucking paying back the people that helped them get into the office. You know what I'm saying? You'll see where all this fucking cash goes that they've been stealing from us for fucking decades.
Yeah, but why
do you think Rumsfeld came on the air the day before 9/11 and said that $4.2 trillion was missing?
We're going deep here, huh?
Missing.
Yeah.
How the fuck is $4.2 trillion go missing, dude? They stole it and they sent it out to all their buddies and themselves, and they swished it all around in a fucking tumbler, and that's called money laundering. And then they sent it back out to their own fucking wallet. That's why every single politician is a multi-millionaire. Even your fucking boy Bernie Sanders, multi-millionaire. The guy's got like 6 fucking houses. Look it up. Don't shill me. Don't bash me because Bernie's got fucking 6 houses. It ain't my fault that you fucking buy his bullshit. That's what I'm saying. Go look at Nancy Pelosi's stock trading history.
Yeah, I like that one.
Get fucking insider info. She's made more money than Warren fucking Buffett. Okay, just ask her. She's had a better return in the last 5 years than Warren Buffett. So don't tell me that she's not getting fucking insider info.
I think we need to be on here nightly. I think we're already up. I think nightly we come on for an hour and we talk about the fucking shit that's going down in the market, what they're saying. I love when you watch CNN and you're like, I love that you watch CNN or whatever because
I do the opposite.
yeah, you're like, I'm watching to see what I'm thinking is right, but
Enemies
also what the
closer.
other side is saying, so
Yeah.
that I could see like what's being fed and then how the market
Yeah, the
reacts.
narrative, baby.
It's really fun. I mean, you really have to have that
You
shit
have
up, but
to.
it could be a fun game. And I'll tell you what, even if you don't have money in the game, it helps you just watch kind of how the world moves. And I think that right there is so important to maybe who you want to be and what you want to do. It's the perspective of, hey, you thought about starting a pizza company?
Sure.
Well, like you might not do that now, or
Yes,
you might
after you
think,
find out what's up, right?
hey, I saw some of the regulations, blah, 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 blah. Like it's easy
not
to
worth
not,
it.
and it's easy to not listen to the news because I don't listen to the news, but now I watch the news differently. It's different. It's not, I don't watch those shows at night. I'm watching it during the day too. I would say another one cool tidbit that I've learned from all this shit is what happens between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. I think is really important and a lot of fun because it's different and it shows you how the back half, or let's say the front half maybe of the world is reacting.
Yeah, it's tomorrow for them.
It's tomorrow. You say back half because of course we're first, right? We're the leaders.
That's exactly. It's
right.
That mentality.
We're leading from behind, though. We're leading from behind.
We're leading from yesterday.
Yeah, we're saying keep going straight. There could be a cliff, but we're not sure because we're back here.
Doing good.
Yeah. You go first.
Yeah, like in Squid Game. I'm not taking another jump on any of these blocks. Somebody else has got to go first. You see the Squid Game, dude?
No, I've never watched it because it looks ridiculous, dude.
It's so good. It's about human nature again. It's another human nature show.
Oh, yeah. I saw the intros. Have you, this one's overtaken my life. Have you watched Yellowstone?
No, you told me about it. And actually, I've heard it from a couple people, so I'll jump on it. I will.
I mean, if you have to pay the $20 for the first season. I know us too, but I think you still have to pay. Pay for the first season and watch the first season, and then you and I just
Let's talk. Let's have an episode about what's it called?
We will buy a ranch. You'll trust me.
Dude,
just go watch it.
Me on that shit.
I know.
But yeah, I'll check that out. I'll go dabble and check in. What platform was it on again? So I don't have to look.
We're watching it on Prime, but we paid for it. Now, people, you might be able to find it on HBO
or something.
I think it's an HBO thing. So if you do it on HBO, go with it. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go look at it when I get on the treadmill now because that's the best time for me to watch anything because I can't do anything else really. So
here, I got a question about a treadmill before we run.
Yeah,
I'm about to get one. So I know you got the iFit, but do you have the treadmill with an iFit or do you have the iFit treadmill?
So no. I got
the Nordic track. Yeah,
I got the i22. I think it's called
i22.
I ripped off the stickers.
It's either that or the Peloton for us.
I think the Peloton was more expensive, but hang on, let me see something. Yeah, I ripped off my stickers. I think it's the i22. I'm almost
the tags off your mattresses, I bet.
Yeah, that's illegal. But I think it's the i22, and I like this one. And this has iFit built into it, almost like an application. So you can actually go to a regular desktop that looks like an Android phone, and there's a browser on there. There's YouTube on there. There's Netflix, and then there's iFit as an app. And then you just go into the app, blah blah blah. So you don't need to have access to the app though in order to use the treadmill. So I don't have to pay for iFit anymore. I just use my treadmill and they give me free workouts. Like every month they'll change it up a little bit, but I just get free workouts. I don't have access to all of them like I used to when I was getting it for free after I bought it. You get it for a year for free after you bought it. Yeah. But then it was too expensive to keep because I have, I have Apple, Fit, and I have everything and workouts and stuff through them. So I'm not going to pay for like 5 different, workout programs. I only wanted to pay for one. So I got rid of that one. And then I just pretty much take my iPad and I plop it right down in front of me on the treadmill because the screen's gigantic. Yeah. The screen will still show me my distance and all my stats and keep running. But then I just watch whatever on the iPad and have 2 screens pretty much going. And then I sit there and I chat with you on my phone while I'm walking. So I have my phone here, my iPad here, and then my I got 3 fucking screens while I'm on the.
They got radiation melting.
Yeah, it's just straight face melt. Yeah.
So here we go. I'm going to throw this right now. 100X. We've had people asking about the show, and Timmy, you're a sweetheart. I love you, brother, and thank you for.
No. Tim's a shill, bro.
He's the shit.
Tim's a shill.
So here's the deal. January 1, I'm going to throw this out because Tony already did this and I kind of missed the boat last year. January 1st, we're going to be doing a challenge. Tony doesn't even know I'm saying this right now.
No,
we're
I
going to
don't.
be doing a challenge.
He said challenge, and I was like, all right.
And
all ears.
for anybody, I suppose, who has an Apple Watch, and I think we should do a giveaway for somebody to get an Apple Watch here.
Ooh.
But we're going to do closing of the rings for every single day of 2022.
Dude.
And we're going to set up a shared doc in Google.
No, I got it.
Yeah.
No, I got it.
Whatever.
We're going to open up our own fucking Discord, bro.
We're going to open up our own Discord. Great job, Tone. That's smart.
And it's free.
It's free.
Yeah.
And that way, and then we're going to have an easy way to check in, but we're going to have it where your shit's going to be recorded and we're going to be able to see.
You're going
to have to either snap a picture of your monthly circles. And if you have to tie it to your dog, then that's something you're going to have to live with.
Yeah.
But but then we're going to go weekly. We're going to live weekly, just like we do. And this will be great accountability for us. And if somebody, misses, we're going to have to talk about that shit right here. And it's going to be a heartbreaker. So what do you think?
Squid Game, you're going to get axed. We're going to put the Apple Watch up in the ball at the top for everyone that's seen Squid Game. Apple Watch up in the ball at the top. We get an interview or whatever to start off from the jump, right?
Yeah.
You're all gonna get in there. You're all gonna have an equal opportunity here. One of you guys are gonna go out and party too hard one night and forget your fucking rings and not hit them. You're gonna get axed. Now we're down to 99, and we start getting down to that 10, that 10 people left range. I guarantee you, people start choosing rings over everything else, just like we do. I guarantee you. Watch. It's a grind, baby.
Here we go. And you know what?
Life changing.
This is going to be great. We'll change all of our lives in a physical way. And we may just launch this as an NFT so we can help you walk in and buy the token and be a part of this 100X community. And we'll see how that goes. Or maybe you get the token if you complete it or something. But I think we both things that we're doing here.
If you complete it. Ooh,
if you complete it, maybe
are you writing this down?
I have it right here, baby.
We got
it right here. So
great.
This will be fun because it'll do our passions with all of them together. Damn. And we have time to plan this. So, January 1st, I'd love to kick this off. And Tony didn't know I was going to say any of this.
We don't even have to have the token ready right away either. We
just
have to
not
have
at
the
all.
Discord set up.
Just the Discord, and we have to have people join, and we'll figure out how. If you're interested, put a comment in here or email us if you want to be a part of this. And if you don't have an Apple Watch, we could figure something out because there's still a way to do it.
There's
and
other
if you need to get an Apple Watch. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Maybe we can
ask for Christmas.
Yeah, we're gonna do a giveaway for some watches.
We will.
So
we'll probably end up doing multiple giveaways. There's tons of different things we can do.
There's a lot of shit we can do. This is going to be great.
Oh, dude.
I just made this up on the hip. This is going to be great, man. Yeah, I just came up with it while we were sitting here just now.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this is great.
Dude, we got to cut this part off.
Cut
this. We can't be giving away information like this, bro.
Yeah, I know.
We got to cut this. Is this live on YouTube?
Yeah.
I told you we should have just talked off YouTube, man.
Well, here's what happened about halfway through this. I got booted and you were talking.
I just kept going.
Did you know?
I'm like, we lost Joel. Let's fucking go.
Because I came back in and then you're like, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. And I was like, I hope they heard it.
I'm like, Joel's out. I'm fucking kicking ass. This is my rant, and I kept going.
That's how it happens.
Yeah. I know what to do when Joel's live feed from the what's the On Location. Joel's live feed from On Location, down in the trenches, cuts. I got to fucking just keep running with it, baby.
Dude, let me tell you this on the sign off. So the other day I turned 45 on the 23rd, just a few days ago.
You didn't.
Turned 45.
You're like 32.
You called me, and Brian Mack called me, and somebody else I think called me, and it sucks that I may be forgetting that right now, or maybe that was it. I think it was just old. Actually called me that day, and I just have to appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate for the phone call because it is cool to pick up the phone and just say what's up. Yes. The funny thing is we're all busy, but we're not busy, and so I appreciate it. Thanks, dude.
So for sure, like I said to you, man, the boys I call. The people that I want to wish happy birthdays to because it's a good gesture. I'll text them and stuff like that, but the crew. I call. Yeah,
I feel you, brother. Well, I appreciated it. I appreciated that. Thanks, man. This was fun. We got plans to make.
Yeah, let's make some plans, and then we'll talk on here again.